here is how my girlfriend and aloe vera sunscreen taught me one of the most important lessons of my life. The year was 2016 in the summer, and I was going on a hike with my at the time girlfriend. Although being 15, can you really call it a girlfriend? Do you even know what you're doing? But we were hiking, and it was very hot because it was summer. It was middle of the day, it was sunny, I was cooked. Not just physically, but I was sunburnt cooked because a few days before that, I had gone swimming, been outside for hours and hours, and I was very burnt, red. And you can see, I burned quite a bit. As we were hiking, I get the idea, wouldn't it be so great if I could get some aloe vera and some sunscreen? And a few days before that, I was at a store and I had seen it. So I thought in my head, oh, I really need some of that. So I said, man, we should have brought some aloe vera sunscreen. And right away she said, aloe vera sunscreen? That doesn't exist. They sell aloe vera and they sell sunscreen, but they don't combine it. And in my head, I thought, what the heck? Yeah, they do. And so I said, I'm pretty sure they do. Or they, mix the sunscreen with the aloe vera so you get that nice two-in-one relief where the aloe vera, that nice tingly sensation in the sunscreen to keep you from getting burned. I was certain that they sold it. And she responded, yeah, no, they don't. They only sell it separately. And then, in my young 15-year-old brain, I paused. And I thought for a moment, do I really want to die on this hill? I just want to have a nice hike and enjoy this time with my girlfriend. And here I am. Are we going to get into an argument about aloe vera sunscreen being two-in-one or being separate? This is crazy. And so I went through my Doctor Strange moment where I stopped and I thought of all 14 million possible outcomes. I could say, hey, you're wrong, they do. Or, yeah, let me show you. Let me look it up on Google. I could do all these things. And I, after 10 to 15 seconds of just pondering, came to a simple conclusion. I turned to her and I said, you know what? You're right. I think I'm just seeing things. And it was it. We never mentioned it again, and we moved on. And it never, ever came up again. Now, I still remember this moment distinctly to this day, because I was convinced that I could pull up Google and show her, like, look, they do this, and it would work. But she was maybe just having not the best day. Her tone was definitely, I realized it would just be so much better. I'd avoid so many problems if I just said, you're right, and moved on. And not that you should just concede on everything, but when there's something that's going to cause conflict and it literally will not affect you in 10 minutes, whatever the argument was, what's only going to affect you is the outcome and how there was contention between you and a friend or a partner or in business. Just let it go. And now, I can confidently say, 9 years later, being 24, that I made the right choice because we ended up going our own separate ways in life. And she might not even remember that we had this conversation. But I remember distinctly that I realized it was more important to make sure that somebody else felt that I cared and supported them than that I was right. And I have now seen this play out in school, college, in sports when I play sports, in business, how trying to be right and proving yourself, even if you are, doesn't help. And if anything, it just makes things worse, and you lose so much time and attention worrying about, let me prove this thing, instead of just moving on and saying, it doesn't matter if I'm right or wrong. It doesn't matter if they sell aloe vera sunscreen together or separate. Let me just tell my girlfriend she's right, so she's happy, and I can definitely get over it and say, in 24 hours, I'm not going to care. In a week, I'm not going to care. I would care if we disagreed and didn't get along. And so I just let it go. And that is how aloe vera and sunscreen taught me one of life's most important lessons with my girlfriend. Hopefully, this helps you when you're in a situation when something silly happens. When maybe your significant other puts food into a cooler and then you go on a trip and it doesn't put ice in it and it gets really hot and it all melts. And you look up in the cooler, say, oh my gosh, you didn't put any ice in it. And she said, well, duh, it's a cooler. It's supposed to keep things cool. I saw this from a comedian, totally stealing it. The point is, he went through that same situation and realized, it's better if I just say, can't believe these coolers that they're making nowadays. And guess what? Happy wife, and he moved on from it. And then later, when the situation was right, he was able to say, hey, what we can do next time is put some ice in there to make sure that it works. And then, at the right moment, it worked out great. But if he would have, in the moment, when they're upset because their food had melted and gone bad, made a scene about it, he would be sleeping on the couch for a week. So, hopefully this helps one person out there who needs to know that it is okay to just let things go and make the world a better place. And it's going to give you more time and attention to tackle the things that actually matter that you care about.